Big question is this: how do young men like us, who didn't listen to society, who are on our own, how do we grow and improve ourselves so that we can live a better tomorrow? That is the question, and this show will give you the answers. My name is James Radzinski, and this is the Ascend Momentum Show. Welcome back, everybody. Today was a very good day. So, what I did today was I ordered notebooks yesterday, more notebooks, and they came today and I labeled them. I bought 4 because they were in packs of 2 and I wanted 3, so I bought 4, and I only used 3 so far. I labeled one of them Expert Secrets, the other one .com Secrets, and then the third one Reality Transurfing. And I am doing this because now when I'm doing my daily studies for my books, like Expert Secrets in the morning and then Reality Transurfing at night, I'm writing down notes as I'm reading, but also every time I see like a concept that I know I should remember, I'm like writing it down and rewording it and explaining it. So that will help me a lot with keep like memorizing the stuff, and also with actually understanding it and retaining it a lot more. And that's the goal. I'm trying to become an expert at marketing, so that's why I'm reading Expert Secrets, and I'm trying to just become extremely knowledgeable in that. And then also at nighttime when I read Reality Transurfing, that's just like worldview, and that's like life. Reality Transurfing is everything. So I'm trying to become extremely knowledgeable in that as well, and not just knowledgeable in that, not just knowledgeable in either, but I'm trying to actually be able to apply all this stuff, but the first step is to actually know it. So that's why I'm doing that. And this is the second time I'm reading each of them. So I'm taking a lot of notes. I know I've only done it once today, and I already know that it's really helping me. So let me tell you, today my critical task was to cold call people until I got 5 responses. And let me give you some context. Yesterday, I emailed probably like 30 people from my Dream 100 list, all the people that I had their emails for. And now today I'm going through and calling them and following up. And I actually got all 5, and one of them was super close, almost interested. I just did not do a good enough job at convincing and destroying his false beliefs. I should have told him a story or something, but hopefully tomorrow I'll do better, or tomorrow I will do better because I learned. And also I wrote out a cold call script that I'm actually using now, because my first call, I went in absolutely cold, and I threw the bag. I fumbled. I did really bad. So I wrote down a script, and then I actually called that same person back, and I could tell that she knew that I was calling again, but now I had a script. So she was actually interested, but she was not the person in charge. So she just gave me an email to send to, and yeah. But doing this stuff is expanding my comfort zone a lot for sure, and getting better at talking to people, because that reminds me, here, let me tell you one thing. I realize that I am not, when I'm speaking with people, I don't make eye contact. And I do make eye contact, but I'm not good at holding eye contact. So I actually did this one thing. I looked up a picture of just some random picture of a man who is not smiling, who is just staring at the face, or staring at the camera. And so now while I'm doing the podcast, I'm going to be looking at the man's eyes. And I'm naming him Frank. So I'm looking at Frank's eyes, and that will help me grow even more by making eye contact with someone and actually being able to speak while I'm looking at someone's eyes. And it's actually pretty difficult. I'm doing it right now, and I'm not able to speak as fluently as I would be otherwise. So that's one thing that I would recommend you guys do if or when you start your podcast. Even if you don't record, even if you don't publish, it's still extremely beneficial to just record on the voice memos app and just record yourself speaking and practice speaking. Just do it every day and then add it to your routine. And over time you'll get better and better. And I would recommend downloading a picture of a person and just making eye contact, because that'll help with just holding eye contact in real life. So let me tell you guys one thing. Over this past summer, I had been going outside every single day with my friend and going to the park barefoot and shirtless, doing sprints, and also just chilling there. And I would recommend daily sun exposure and grounding, because I'll tell you, first of all, I feel so much better when I go. And also, he left for a week and I didn't go outside to the park at all for a whole week, and I could definitely tell that my health was worse. And that is because I didn't ground and I didn't touch the grass with my feet, and I didn't get that much sun. So I would recommend you guys go to the park shirtless and barefoot, because one, it'll expand your comfort zone because you'll get more comfortable being in public without your shirt on, because that has helped me a lot just growing as a person, because now I'm more comfortable without a shirt and I'm more comfortable standing out. And two, it'll just help your health a lot. And also, one thing I noticed is that my feet, my toes were compact before because of shoes, and then once I started being barefoot and walking around barefoot a lot, then my toes actually started to spread out to how they're actually supposed to be. So that's cool too, and I'm working on my toe dexterity, being able to move my toes freely, just like my hands. And it's pretty tough, I will say. And today, man, I'm sorry guys, I can't really think of anything to say. I'm just going to open my notebook and see if something sparks my imagination. Okay. Oh, this is one thing. So, when I'm working out, with people especially, and someone suggests us do something, I'm always just like, all right, let's do it. And then I just, like, without any emotion attached to it, we just do it. And I say that, let's do it. But I'm not like that when it comes to entrepreneurship. And I predict that I developed my all right, let's do it my attitude on when I'm exercising by doing hard things and like going to the gym a lot and doing a lot of training sessions. And over time, my discipline has built on that avenue of my life. But I found that it does not really transfer that much to my entrepreneurship. So I have to grind it out now, do all of this like cold calling and stuff, so then eventually I can actually develop a all right, let's do it mindset to where it's actually easy and it's fun to do it. And I know I'm in the beginning stages of that in entrepreneurship, and it's tough, I'll be honest. And maybe you are too. Maybe you're in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship, or maybe you're in the beginning stages of working out. And I'll say, you just got to keep going at it with the goal of you developing the all right, let's do it mindset, and then eventually you will. So one thing that I realized in just life, but I realized this once I started doing entrepreneurship, and the actual important part of starting something new or building a new avenue of your life, for example, building your fitness, your strength, building your wealth, all of this stuff, the things that you should be focusing on are not the tactics, but they are the strategy. And let me explain what that means. So the strategy would be for going to the gym, let's say, the strategy would be to just lift weights. But the tactics would be push, pull, leg split, or something like that. And more specific stuff. Strategy is like the overarching plan, but tactics are like the more individual, the more precise, like plan of attack, like actual plan. So the reason why I'm saying this is because, let me just say this. The thing that you should be focusing on most is not tactics, but mindset. And you just learn the strategy and then focus on mindset, and then the tactics will just be a breeze to go through. So what I mean by that is, when I first got into entrepreneurship, if someone told me step by step exactly what to do, that would be all the tactics, I probably would fail. But if someone taught me all of the mindset components, like believe in yourself, knowing the path, being confident, and just, I can't think of anything right now, but just all that stuff, all the mindset stuff, then if someone taught me the mindset stuff and then gave me the strategy, then I would succeed. Because the strategy would be, first of all, the fast lane, which is building a business, and then a business that can be separate from your time. And there's a whole, like, the sense strategy, the sense formula is written in MJ DeMarco's The Millionaire Fastlane and Unscripted. And it's basically, sense is control, entry, need, time, scale. And if your business Man, today's not the day. Why am I blanking so bad? I don't know, but if your business can if your business has all of that stuff, sent all the control entry need time scale, then it will it will be a fast line business, and then from there you just have to focus on the mindset, and then tactics will come along the way. And what I did notice is that even the extremely successful people, like what's that guy's name? Carbone, I think is his last name. Carbone. I don't even know, but there's a billionaire who doesn't even know all the tactics. Like most billionaires don't even know what's going on in their business on the tactics viewpoint, but they focus on the strategy, and that's what makes them successful. So they probably know enough to where they know how to hire people, but they don't know specific things that their business does. They don't know every single thing. They just know exactly how to make the business work and then push it forward and make it continue to grow. So just focus on the mindset, and that's why I'm really only focusing on learning. I'm focusing on my mental stuff. So if you read Transurfing, I didn't actually understand all of this stuff until I still don't understand this stuff yet, but I'm starting to actually understand it. And this is my second time reading it, and I'm probably 80 pages in right now. So I'm not really that far in because it's a 700-page book. And I just know that if you're going to be successful, then you have to focus on your mindset, because anything that, first of all, even if you don't believe that your thoughts can affect your reality, then even if you don't believe that, your thoughts still affect your actions, because let's say you're like most people and don't believe that you can be a millionaire, then your thoughts are going to prevent you from taking action, because what's the point of taking action if you don't believe you're a millionaire? But if you believe that you're a millionaire and your thoughts are aligned with that statement, then you will take action on becoming a millionaire. And me personally, I believe that our thoughts definitely affect our environment. So that plus the fact that our thoughts affect our environment, that's an extra force pushing us, propelling us forward to achieve our goals. So all of this stuff, if I were to be sitting in your position right now and just listening to a podcast and hearing someone say this, and I have been in that position, and I have heard someone say this stuff, I would not believe it. And I did not believe it until I read a book about it. So if you have the slightest feeling that there is something here, some potential thing here, go on Amazon right now and order the book Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zeland. Get the steps 1 through 5, and that's the whole book, and then just read that, and then your life will change. I guarantee it. Mine did, and I just read it once, and then mine is changing even more, propelling it even forward. Now that I'm reading it a second time, and I'll say, I didn't actually have these daily study sessions of my studying my books, I would just read my books casually, trying to learn as much information. But now that I'm being active with it, and I'm only on the first day, I know that I'm gonna grow at an unheard of rate, and I'm gonna grow so much, so far, so fast that I will blow past my competitors and be a millionaire before you know it. So let me tell you one thing. If we don't control our thoughts, negative thoughts are bound to creep in. So one thing that I'm working on is every time, first of all, I'm trying to stay present as possible, always present. So I'm always focusing on my breath. But if I'm at downtime, like when I'm riding my bike to the gym, or if I'm just going on a walk or something like that, if I have downtime and my mind is free, I think about my goals, and I think about, I can't visualize, but most people can visualize. So I just like try my best to feel the energy of this specific goal. And I didn't have this goal until the other day when my friend brought it to my attention, and it's to become a surfer. I've never surfed in my life, but I will be a surfer, and I'm gonna go to, once I make a lot of money, which is gonna be soon, I'm gonna go to like Hawaii or something and learn to surf and surf a lot. So that's one of my goals that I'm thinking about during my downtime. And I just try and imagine me standing under that classic image of a surfer, me standing inside of a wave curling over me, and I just feel like that would be an awesome experience, and I've never had it, but I've seen it in videos, and it seems awesome, and I want it, and I'll have it. So that's one thing that I'm focusing on. Another thing I'm focusing on is, once I get this consulting business going, I'll be consulting for other businesses and building funnels for them and helping out their business. And I'm going to do it for free until I have some success. And then once I have some success, then I will be charging a lot of money. And then with that money, I'll have to see what my heart says, but my plan is to either focus on my self-improvement business, or purchase this one restaurant in my local area and scale it and franchise it, and pretty much do what Ray Kroc of McDonald's did with McDonald's. So I'll have to see what my heart says, but so far I'm leaning towards the franchising thing, but I haven't really given it some serious thought. I've just been thinking about it casually a lot. And I did order Ray Kroc's book, and I ordered his biography. So I'm going to read those two books. So there's one thing that I've been doing lately, every day with my friend, at the park when we're shirtless and barefoot. I don't even bring my shirt or my shoes to the park. I bring my slides because I bike there, but then I leave my slides under a tree, and then we just walk around and do sprints, do like push-ups, frog jumps, just like a bunch of random exercises, and bear crawls, and then all that stuff. But one thing that we've been doing lately is climbing a tree, and we're planning on climbing one new tree every single day for like the rest of summer, or however long, every single day we go to the park. And we've been climbing like 5 trees every day and just sitting up there and enjoying it, and then just like talking and stuff and hanging out up there. And I will recommend it 100%. It's a very fun thing to do. It makes me feel good, and then since I'm barefoot and shirtless, it like scratches up my skin, so that is cool, which I actually like. because it makes me feel like I achieved something. It's kind of like like a trophy scar. Not it doesn't scar. It's just like scratches and cuts, but it's kind of like a trophy cut. And but also it like makes my hands like super grippy, and it adds to my calluses on my feet and my hands, so that's good. And it increases, like, it just toughens my feet and hands in general also. And I just feel like it's one of the best things ever, climbing a tree. You get one in nature, one with nature, and also you climb a tree. That's awesome. You're like using your muscles, and then it's also like a sense of accomplishment, because today we climbed like two very difficult trees that I never would have tried on my own, and trees that while I was like climbing up them, I was like tempted to give up because they were so hard, but then I pushed through, and I asked Franklin about it, and who's the person that I am hanging out with at the park, and I asked him about it, and he said that he had the same thoughts too. So, but we both pushed through, so that's good, and that just shows me that it's normal to have thoughts of doubt, and the difference between everyone has thoughts of doubts, but the difference between a successful person and someone who is unsuccessful, or the rest of the world pretty much, is they ignore the thoughts of doubts and push through, and they don't even let the thoughts, a lot of the times they don't even let the thoughts of doubts like stay in their mind. They just think about something else, like they focus up and think about their breath and stuff. Let me get a drink of water. Yeah, so if you guys have not climbed a tree yet this summer, I don't know when you're listening to this, but I'm recording this during the summertime. 100% climb a tree. I recommend it. So let me tell you guys one thing that I learned in a Hamza video, and then I found out that it was in a book, so I read the book called The 4-Hour Workweek. And let me tell you one thing that helped me move forward in entrepreneurship, and I think will help you move forward in whatever you're afraid of at the moment. And it was this exercise called Define, Prevent, and Repair. And it's pretty much where you define what you're afraid of, and you just write down like what exactly is it that you're afraid of, what will happen if it does happen, what's the worst case scenario, what's the best case scenario, just a bunch of different questions. And then the prevent part is how could I reduce the likelihood of it happening, and like how could I prevent it, pretty much. And then the repair part is if it does happen, like what would I do to fix things. And pretty much I realized that my fear of beginning a business was not justifiable. It was just me being human and me preventing myself from moving forward. And that was a huge fear I had to begin my business in the first place. And it was holding me back 100%. And then I wrote out I wrote out all the answers to the questions, and I realized how stupid it was for me to not begin, because it was like a very low percentage of the fear that I was having of happening. I was just afraid of the unknown, pretty much. I just didn't know what was going to happen, so I was afraid to move forward. And I feel like that's holding a lot of people back, their fears. And we had to be more aware and conscious of our fears. Because once you're conscious of your fears, then you can address them, and then you can start to move forward. And I'll be honest, it was a couple days until I actually built up the balls, even after I wrote out the answers to I wrote out like my entire fear. It was a couple days until after that I actually took action. So the first step is to be aware of it, and from there, then you can move forward. And you really can't move forward to fix up a problem until you're aware of it. So let me tell you one thing that's helped me a lot, and that is to surround yourself with like high quality people that are just like you, just in a similar, if not better, position than you. Because I didn't do that until like this summer, and before I was still improving, but once I actually only paid it, only hung out with this one person, and this one person is in a very similar position that I am, and similar mindset, similar everything to me, then I actually started to improve and like grow so fast and exponentially, because we were able to like discuss with each other like where we're at and keep each other accountable pretty much. And it was just like that competition piece too. Like we both wanted to do better than the other, and that just keeps pushing us forward and forward. So, and we're also able to tell each other things that we learn, so we can learn from each other, and then we can also tell each other what they should do. So, for example, my friend was not meditating consistently, and that was because he didn't have meditation in his daily routine. And then I like told him over many days, I told him that he needs to be doing this, and so now he's doing it, and now it's good. So if you guys aren't meditating every day, you have to be meditating every day, and the only way to be able to do that is to put it in your morning routine. And I actually put it in my morning routine and nighttime routine, so I'm meditating for over an hour every day total. So all the times that I stop speaking, I want you guys to be aware, is because I'm focusing on my breath, and I'm like calming myself and breathing. I'm just breathing. I just take one deep breath in and then let it out. So one thing that I want you guys to do is to never let in negative energy into your mind, and also never let it out of your person. So what I mean by that is never, if someone is, let's say someone's getting mad, don't let them make you mad. Just stay indifferent, accept the fact that they have their right to be mad, but just move on with indifference. So just move on with emptiness, and that will prevent you from thinking negatively, and therefore keep your world in good. I'm not doing a very good job explaining this, but pretty much don't think bad thoughts, because thoughts directly or indirectly affect your environment. Keeps your environment clean from negatives. And then what I mean by don't let negative energy out is to don't like get mad at other people, or don't yell at other people or say bad things. out loud and just all that stuff. Don't express negative things. So just pretty much don't be negative. And if you stay positive and you make it a habit and be conscious and like focus 100% on staying positive, then you'll be successful as well. And that's what I'm focusing on right now. Staying positive. I'm focusing on actually keeping my mind clean. So everyone has dirty minds. Like most people in this society have dirty minds, is what I like to think of it as. And I actually have a dirty mind as well, but I'm trying to clean it up. And what I mean by a dirty mind is that it's molded in a way to where we are negative and we feel a lot of negative emotions and we think badly. We don't have very good thinking habits or thinking patterns. And so once we clean up our minds and take out the trash from our minds, then we become clear and we become successful. Because think about it. You don't act in real life. You don't like take action unless you think to take action. So even if it's subconscious, you're not clicking on my podcast with emptiness. You are actually thinking. Your mind is like, oh, click on this podcast and let's listen to this. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So what I mean by that is you're not like brain dead. Your brain is functioning, right? So your brain is working. So whether it's your subconscious or your conscious, you're making decisions based on your brain. And it's usually based off past experiences and stuff like that. And so the first step to taking action is to think to take action. So if you're holding yourself back by thinking that you're not going to be successful, well, then you're not going to be successful because the first step is already failed. You already failed at the first step. If you want to succeed at the first step, then think that you're going to be successful, or at least tell yourself that you're going to be successful until you actually believe it. That's what I'm doing. And right now, I'm like, I mostly believe it. It's obviously there's still the unknown of the future, but I'm very confident that I'll be successful. And now every once in a while, a thought pops up like, what if I fail, or what will happen? Now I'm usually conscious. I'm working on becoming conscious of those kinds of thoughts, and eliminating them as soon as possible, because they are not constructive at all, and they don't help anybody. The only reason why we have them is because fear helps us survive, but we don't need that type of survival mechanism anymore, because we're not living in the jungle, or we're living in a society, a developed society now. So we're able to not feel fear of getting eaten by a tiger right now. And examples like that are why we have fear, but those just don't happen anymore. So we don't have to feel fear anymore. I actually don't know why we still have... I can't think of a single reason why we have fear. I mean, I guess, I can't think of things, because you don't want to, jump off of a cliff. You want to be afraid of that, And I feel like fear is just trying to protect you. And if you're conscious of the fact that sometimes, most of the time, it's just holding you back, then you can have some success and prevent, or not prevent, but stop yourself from acting on that fear, because if you act on fear, then you won't do anything. But if you take action against fear, then you'll achieve stuff. So I'm sorry guys if this episode was not of the quality of my other episodes. I think it's because I'm making eye contact with a man this whole time. And if you guys try to hold eye contact with someone for an entire conversation, and it's hard. You don't think as well. And so I believe that if I continue this practice, then I will be able to think properly when I'm holding eye contact with people in real life. And then I'll just be able to speak fluently and very well while I'm in conversation. Because that's one thing I'm good at. I'm getting a lot better at speaking, but I'm not very good at speaking in conversation with others because I haven't practiced it that much. So I'm good at speaking to you guys, but to other people is a different story, just because I haven't practiced. Guys, make sure to stay awake, okay? Focus on your breath. Stay conscious throughout the day. So, to wrap things up, don't forget to download your favorite episodes and subscribe to the Ascend Momentum Show. But before you guys leave, make sure... Wait, I just realized that... So, let me tell you guys one thing. I have a goal of every single day my podcast length has to be higher and higher. So if you guys notice that I progressively increase the length of every podcast, and I'm going to do that until I get to around 1 hour. And then once I get to 1 hour, I'm just going to have all my podcasts at least 1 hour long, and then not have like a time limit or anything like that. But I just realized that it was less. When I was about to end it, it was like 10 seconds less than yesterday's episode. So now I'm going to wrap things up. Don't forget to download your favorite episodes and subscribe to the Ascend Momentum Show. But before you guys leave, make sure to remember the Eagles.